Good morning. How are you today? Well, it's kind of wet and muggy today here, but you can't complain when you see around the world the combinations of fire and drought and flood, and the fact that humans have failed to act for all this time and scratch their heads hoping we haven't reached the tipping point so that it won't matter that we haven't done anything to date while not committing to do anything going forward. The headlines today are what we've already talked about, and I decry the fact that we repeat the same story 11 times on the day it breaks and then for 3 days afterwards, like we don't get it. I had the same feeling in grammar school. That is, how many years do we do the same thing? And the nuns, in my case, or teachers, were surprised that we knew the answers because we've been over it so many times. It was like a memorization test. But what about the spirit of the human? Where is that? I used to, and I still do, enjoy reading science fiction. And I like The Time Machine a great deal, not only because it appeared to my young sense of science that it was possible someday to do that, but on a political scale, what the bottom line is in that marvelous book is that humanity degenerates and becomes pure. In other words, there's a division between those who live in the daylight above the earth and are loving, but they're not fighters, and below the earth, I think it was Morlocks, but maybe it was Warlocks. They eat humans, which makes me think of the Odyssey, in which Cyclops is this one-eyed beast-like government, one-dimensional, that also eats humans. So what is that parallel till today? And the parallel is that we have, I guess, people whose almighty objective is to make increments of funds that they'll die and never enjoy and hoard from others if their family doesn't manage to convince courts that they're incompetent during life so they can take it away from them for themselves. I know that's a pretty sad look, but that's what Gordon Gekko was about. That's about what business appears to be about. Increments of funds to buy toys, ridiculous toys. Let's take a rocket ship and go straight up and down for 20 minutes, adding nothing to the understanding of the science of rocketry or space. There are worse examples, and the worst examples are that in a wealthy country we want to tax diapers for a family that has to give up something else in order to have diapers for their child. This is a true story in Louisiana. Or we are prepared to evict people from their homes, not pay the landlords because we've declared the pandemic is over, when for many it is not, and the fears are substantial and real, and that people who are sensitive may not survive. So where does it happen that some find heart and others don't? Some are empathetic and others are brutal. And I do think that the parties are roughly divided into those two camps. What hasn't always been true. In fact, the Republican Party had made terrific advances for humankind, if you will. And some might say it goes back to Lincoln. And somewhere along the line, they dropped the ball. And the Democrats are not always perfect. They tell us what they think we want to hear, but then they don't follow through. They don't take the risks. But still, they show more empathy. In daily life, I see a doctor, I see a caregiver, a person who cares about others. And the best of the doctors fit in that category. So they're not good people to defend themselves, as does happen. But they are great people to take care of others. Any kind of care worker. Who becomes a fireman? Yes, it's exciting, but you're also saving people and saving property. Who becomes a police officer? In the best case, if you take a show like Blue Bloods, you get a sense of what the icon might be for a police family doing the right thing, but imperfectly. So we have a society in which some of us, I think the empathetic, those who care, but who also know how to fight, I think we understand a metaphor when we see it. But then there's another school, and I do see this division, who take everything literally and who will believe things without any ability to analyze it critically. So I think, when we say things like light the candle rather than curse the darkness, well, the light is us also shining reason on what's going on. The light is the spirit of a collective soul that Biden ran for office on, that can be the spirit of an individual and of a nation. And you kill that, and you kill the nation, you kill the democracy. I guess it was John Donne who said, "No man is an island entire of itself. Every man is a piece of the continent, a part of the main. If a clod be washed away by the sea, Europe is the less, as well as if a promontory were, as well as any manner of thy friends or of thine own were. Any man's death diminishes me, any man, because I am involved in mankind, humankind, I would say, and therefore never send to know for whom the bell tolls. It tolls for thee." Now, probably the people who are listening to me speak, they agree exactly with this. How do you confer and cooperate with someone who does not believe that? Because you're cooperating with and advancing someone who does not believe that they are involved in mankind. They're involved in power, money. They're involved in control. And they don't have a heart. They may speak the language, but they don't have the heart to do it. And so they don't hear the bell tolling. Though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels and have not charity, I am become as brass or a clanging cymbal. So here we are in my cathedral, helping you suffer some of the lessons I remember from the Dominicans and the Jesuits. But you can find what I'm saying, and I think all the great thinkers, religious and not. My favorite are the Romans. Seneca, he speaks about these things. He speaks about honor and character. And how do we fight its absence? By acting with honor and by having character ourselves and persisting in resolve, because we are all part of each other. We are part of humankind, and we have to help each other. So that's what I have to say today. We'll return to our regularly scheduled program tomorrow, but have a great Sunday, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.